the first day of distance learning for SHS. I mean, it is what it is, and I'm kind of looking forward to learning how to do a bunch of new stuff. I hope you're with me, and I promise for my part to keep things moving and not overload you with a ton of work, but to keep you learning the stuff that you need to be learning this year so that you are not behind for next year. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Well, okay, not this. Let me get rid of my big stupid face here. And yeah, there you see it. Same, well, okay, you get to see all my cluttered icons now since I don't have two screens. But let's get into it and do our first short lesson. This is my home office now. I've stolen some of my children's space in the downstairs. And this is where I am right now. That's Nora with her pudding cup. And we are in chapter 18, which we will do together with chapter 19, coming out of 16 and 17, which were kind of Darwin's theories of evolution, modern theory of evolution, and kind of the genetic basis of it. Now we move into how we group living things, which is called taxonomy. That's kind of the scientific term for classifying living things. And okay, the first person to kind of do a decent job of it was Aristotle, who you've heard of. But the guy who kind of did the stuff that some of which we still use was a man named Carolus Linnaeus, who lived in the 1700s. And though he got lots of his groupings wrong as far as evolutionary relationships, which of course nobody really knew about, we still use the names he gave to what he called taxa, which are the groupings. He had 7. We use all 7 of those in modern classification. We've added 1. So what I'm going to do now, this will be a very short one, is just take you through the 8 levels and then put humans and dogs in the proper taxa that they belong in, so you can kind of see how this works, where humans, sort of follow the same trunk and where they separate. So the top level, and the one that we'll talk about later, because it's the one that we have added in modern classification, is the domain. In fact, there's only 3 domains on Earth, and a full 2 of them are just bacteria. But the human and the dog and everything else you probably think of when you think of living things belong to the domain eukarya. That's all the eukaryotes, all the cells that have nuclei, right? So domain then is divided into probably the top one that you know, which is kingdom. The kingdoms that you're probably familiar with: animal, plant, fungus, protist, and bacteria. In fact, there's 2 kingdoms of bacteria now. And so humans and dogs both belong to the animal kingdom. Kingdom is subdivided into phyla. Humans and dogs still together here, with the phylum that mostly has backbones, but all of them have spinal cords. So it's called chordata. By the way, I will post these notes at the very end of this unit, but you should be following along and taking notes in your notebook just like you do. If I move too fast, the great thing is that you can press pause and catch up as much as you want. So, phyla, of which humans and dogs both belong to chordata, subdivided further into classes. Humans and dogs both belong to a hairy class, a warm-blooded class, a class that gives live birth, and a class that's actually named for the last characteristic, which is they have these specialized glands, the females do, that make this kind of amazing, perfect baby food. Have you guessed yet? We're both mammals. Classes subdivided into orders. Orders, this is where it gets interesting for humans, and this is where humans and dogs split. Humans belong to the primates, which also includes New World monkeys, Old World monkeys, and apes. Dogs are in with, say, bears, cats, badgers, even some things that aren't carnivores, but the order is called Carnivora. Humans now, when we subdivide into what we call families, at this point, we're kind of on our own. The family humans belong to is the hominidae, and we are the only surviving non-extinct member of this family. And that'll continue on down through the levels. Whereas dogs are in the canid family, which also includes coyotes and foxes and wolves, which they're almost the same species as. And now here for genus and the last one, which is species, genus and species are special. And they're special because they are the ones that we use to name things scientifically. So if you know humans and dogs' scientific names, you already know what's coming. Humans belong to the genus Homo, which is the same genus as extinct things you might have heard of, like Homo habilis and Homo erectus, just, prehistoric kind of man-like organisms. And then the dog is in the genus Canis, which it again shares with coyotes and foxes and a couple other things. Species is the last one. So notice that these have gone from general to specific. That's always kind of how we list them, from the most general, containing the most different species, to the most specific. And species is, of course, very specific. You've probably guessed that our species is sapiens. We call humans Homo sapiens, which leads you to a thing about scientific naming. Dogs is common to ones that are domesticated. We often call them familiaris, although they're close enough to wolves that some people also use lupus. Canis lupus is the name of the wolf as well. So those are the 8 taxa that we use at this point, from most general to most specific. Yes, you need to know them. Yes, you need to know them in order and from memory. That's just something that if you ever want to take biology again, it's going to be real helpful to know. But don't worry, I am all about stupid ways to remember stuff, so that is coming in a second. First, let's talk about that naming thing. Speaking of stupid, binomial nomenclature, that is one of those terms that I can't stand, because it's like a really, really smart sounding way of saying something really simple. It literally means a system of naming things that uses 2 names. That's all it means. Binomial means 2 names. Nomenclature means a system of naming things. Literally just means we give everything 2 names for its scientific name. And the 2 names are the genus and the species. Now, there is something important that doesn't seem important, but the way we write this, we always write it with the genus capitalized and the species not. And in fact, if you're handwriting, we always underline the whole thing. And in fact, I'm going to change this real quick, because if you're typing, which you guys are pretty much exclusively going to be, it's not underlining, it's italicizing that we do. That's how someone knows that you're writing a scientific name. And so let's make it like that. Oh, hey, this is just like class, isn't it? Sandra's screwing up. Cool. I think we're all right now. All right. So genus and species, that's how you write it. And you always capitalize the genus, lowercase the species, and italicize the whole thing. And that really, the purpose is that anyone reading what you're writing, as soon as they see that, oh, there's a capital there, and there's 2 names, and it's all italicized, they go, that must be the scientific name. Often they will also abbreviate, as you can see from the third one, which Escherichia coli might not look super familiar, but E. coli, everybody knows, most people know, is a bacteria that A, exists in your own gut to help you digest stuff, but B, can make you sick if it's found in your food. So the first letter of the genus and the whole species are often used as kind of shorthand. Okay, so that's it. Except, again, I promised you a stupid way to remember stuff. So here is one way. It's a mnemonic device like you've kind of seen before in this class. There's a bunch. You can Google it and you'll see a ton, not all of which are appropriate. But the one I'm going to choose, I think, hangs together the best for me, starting with, remember, it's domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. So for domain, we use dum. Kingdom is kids. Phylum is prefer. Class is cheese. Order is over. Family is fried, genus is green, and species is spinach. Dumb kids prefer cheese over fried green spinach, which of course is not true, because I think that would be smart kids, because fried green spinach doesn't sound super. I like spinach, but I don't know, maybe in a salad. Yeah, so that's it. Your assignment. may actually be already, if I can get it to work, it might already be in a button on the screen right now. And so it's really just to get the pre-assessment for chapters 18 and 19 done before Monday. Am I forgetting anything? I think I'm good. Oh, office hours coming. Looking forward to seeing you then. Thanks for watching. Hopefully it's good to do something normal again. See you guys.